Had an interesting question from Tonga Nation who says, Ryan, do you think Wizards will ever implement set redemption on Arena? Or has Wizards made that clear that made it clear that that is a feature they eventually are keeping only on Magic Online or are interested in getting rid of entirely? Oh, they want to get rid of it entirely. Magic Online, let me give some context. So Magic Online is now almost 20 years old. It came out in beta in 2001 or 2000. I think it launched it was in beta late 2000 and launched in 2001. So Magic Online is closing in on 20 years old, and we take a lot for granted about it. It's easy to forget that 20 years ago, in the year 2000, video games were not doing DLC. Video games were not selling virtual content. The idea of owning something or having access to, getting something, buying something that wasn't physical, buying something that was attached to your account, that was wildly unproven. In fact, gosh, you could go back and look at forum chatter from people in 2000s ahead of Magic Online's release. It is full of people swearing up and down that they are never in a million years going to pay anything close to full price for a digital booster. Not ever. And that was the strong opinion. And I think Wizards was super worried about that. They were breaking new ground. They were one of the first companies in the world to say, we would like to charge you for virtual objects. We would like to charge you for virtual objects that it says right there in the terms and conditions that if we decide to, we can take it back. We can cancel your account and take back our virtual stuff, right? And it was very scary for them. So they went with a gold standard approach as a hedge. They were worried that this wasn't going to work at all, that nobody would pay for digital stuff. And so they created a gold standard, which is a reasonable parallel. So the US dollar used to be backed by gold, right? Like ostensibly you could take a piece of US currency and trade it for the equivalent amount of gold, because that's what it was based on. This is representative of gold. Well, the US currency system has kind of abandoned that as well. It has abandoned that. But basically, the gold standard is what Wizards was doing when they said, okay, I know you don't want to buy virtual stuff, but it's not virtual, because here's what we're going to do. If you can collect one of every card of a set on Magic Online, so you get one of every card in M21, you can go to the store and for a shipping and handling fee, I think it's like $25, so like a $25 fee, they take all of the copies of that set out of your online collection and they ship you a Magic set. And the initial idea was that it was going to be one for one, that like you could just, offhandedly be like, I want to take that crash through I got and turn it into a physical crash through and trade the one. And they're like, well, we don't want to do that. Like if you allowed one for one, it would be abused because people would start asking to get their crash throughs or whatever. And there's no monetary sense in that kind of system. But they did, as a hedge, create this gold standard. So now, what it created was a whole industry of people taking advantage of the arbitrage opportunities created by Wizards' failure to develop their own software product. And there's reasons for it. I was on teams at Wizards making decisions not to develop the software product, and they were correct decisions at the time based on what our priorities were and what things the game needed. And but one of the things that is just left in the Magic Online system is this world. There's a whole secondary market industry based on buying up your individual singles on Magic Online, selling them back to Wizards, and getting complete sets made. And it impacts paper more than you think, because supply and demand is real, and the price of your individual Magic singles, especially in something like Standard, is purely based on supply and demand. And when there's a whole industry of people mining Magic Online for sets and then reselling those sets, the supply of the set goes up in the world. So it's not even like it's just free cards or whatever. It really does impact the secondary market. And so this is what they did to make people feel comfortable about buying digital Magic products. Now that we're 20 years later and every game is selling digital stuff, people are very used to buying not real things at this point, right? DLC has changed how people think about buying non-physical stuff in a way that has rendered the whole gold standard solution that Wizards employed to make people feel better about virtual goods is now moot and is not needed. And so there is no way, shape, or form ever that Wizards will again create a flagship digital Magic title whose economic system involves you trading virtual goods to get physical cards. They're just never going to do that again. It was done as a hedge 20 years ago on a thing that no longer matters, and a thing that is no longer a concern of customers. And in fact, it only took about a handful of weeks or months before we realized, nope, yes, people are quite willing to buy digital Magic cards, as Magic Online proved. And people are talking about the Magic Online nickname of Modo. In fact, my nickname on Magic Online is Godot, my handle. And a lot of my usernames are Modo Godot because of that. But Modo, yeah, MODO stood for Magic Online with Digital Objects, which was effectively the pitch that the original company that made Magic Online, Leaping Lizards, made to Wizards of the Coast. Leaping Lizards came to Wizards of the Coast and said, we can do digital Magic. We can totally do it. And they pitched it, and it was called Magic the Gathering Online with Digital Objects. And then the executable in the original game, so when the thing you double clicked to launch Magic Online was literally called capital MODO.exe. So to launch Magic Online, you double clicked a thing called Modo.exe, and that executable is really why Magic Online has the nickname Modo. So there you go. Little insider stuff on how Magic Online was conceptualized and how Wizards of the Coast feels about using a gold style standard to prop up digital Magic cards in the future. And the answer is not going to happen. Never going to happen again. Hey, we were going to draft, right? I should do that. Thanks. So that was some fun asides. Hope that was interesting to you. How many sets did I redeem? I was not a redeemer. I was the type of person feeding the redeemers, right? I drafted and sold my cards off individually to redeemers so that I could draft again. However, I will say that when I did, when I got hired at Wizards, and I knew I was going to go in and I was going to get a God account, like I wasn't going to be using my Magic Online account for. Oh yeah, this was because I was switching. I was. This is where I do to clear the chat, but again, I'm failing to start the draft. But yeah, did you miss the part on set redemption? Yes, you did. You'll have to catch the VOD. But I was just saying that before I started at Wizards, since I had a lot of resources on my Magic Online account, and I expected to be at Wizards for a while, so before I went into Wizards, I did do a mass redemption. I became a redeemer, and actually it was pretty cool. I was proud of this. I redeemed a playset of Standard before starting at Wizards. I think at the time that was, it was Zendikar. It was Zendikar Scars. Zendikar Scars. So it's a good time to do it too. Although the end of Scars wasn't out yet. So I redeemed all of Zendikar block and and the first two sets of Scars. So I redeemed 4 sets of 5 Magic sets each. Why did I make the decision to go for full sets myself instead of selling off to bots? Oh, because I love Magic, and the idea of owning those cards was more appealing to me than the idea of turning my Magic collection into a little bit of cash. Haj says, do you have a lot of sealed product you keep? Well, I have a lot of sealed product from secondary market stuff, but also I basically never opened my sealed after like drafting. After the first 6 months at Wizards of my 7 years there, I stopped opening my sealed product. So I do have a lot of unopened sealed. Yeah, redeem is to exchange one thing for another. In this case, Dionysus, I will redeem that set. I will trade my digital singles for that set. Why did Wizards put out Arena if they already had MTGO? Because Magic Online is not the technical future for Magic. They needed a new platform on which to... Magic Online is effectively unfixable as an indefinite ongoing concern for Wizards as far as I'm concerned. All right, now I'll do my trick again. Shrink here, clear out your nonsense.